So we are on page 123. This is the independent practice for lesson 5.3. And the first set of directions says make a reasonable estimate for each situation. I want to go through those directions again because if you look at the problems 14, 15, and 16, they are all multiplication problems, but it doesn't ask you to multiply. It says make a reasonable estimate. Estimate means round. And then in each of the questions, it says about how many pounds of water, about how many inches will the snail travel. So pay attention to the directions, okay? All right, so let's check out number 14. A gallon of water weighs 8 and 354 thousandths pounds. Simon uses 11 and 81 hundredths gallons of water while taking a shower. About how many pounds of water did Simon use? Estimate means to take 8 and 354 thousandths and round that to 8. That doesn't round down because the 3, or that doesn't round up because the 3 is not above a 5. And 11.8 would round up to 12. And my facts tell me that 8 times 12 is 96. The answer is about 96 gallons. Number 15. A snail moves at a speed of 2 and 394 thousandths inches per minute. If the snail keeps moving at this rate, about how many inches will it travel in 7.489 minutes? 2.3 rounds down to 2. 7.489 rounds down to 7. Now I recognize that you could argue that it could round up. It's about. I mean, it rounds down. 7.4. It almost rounds up, but 4 is lower than 5. So it rounds down. 2 times 7 is about 14. And what's our unit? It is inches. About 14 inches. Number 16. Trisha's garden is 9.87. That's almost 10. That's how long the garden is, and it's about 1 meter wide. 10 times 1 is 10. It's about 10. And we have to properly label this. It's about 10 square meters. So we put an M there for meters, and we put the squared sign. So why do we round on all those? Because the directions asked us to estimate. So let's move on. The bottom of the page we get to do some calculations, but the top of the page was all estimate. Kaylin and Amanda both work at the same store. The table shows how much each person earns and the number of hours each person works. And then the first two problems are again estimate. Number 17 says estimate how much Kaylin earns and estimate how much Amanda earns. So Kaylin makes pretty close to $9 an hour, and Amanda makes pretty close to $10 an hour. That's what they mean by estimate. And Kaylin works for you could round this to 38 hours. And you could round this to 31 hours. So if I do 9 times 38, get 72. And I get 9 times 3 is 27, plus 7 is 34. So how much does Kaylin earn? The first person makes about. That's the about sign. That squiggly sign right there means about $342 per week. And Amanda earns 10 times 31. That's $310 per week. Now 19 asks us to actually calculate. It very clearly says don't estimate. It says calculate. That means to do some multiplication. It says calculate the exact difference between Kaylin and Amanda's weekly salaries. So that's going to require some work. I need a whiteboard there. And Kaylin makes $875 times 37.5 hours. So you can just do 875 times 375. It's going to be a little bit of a lengthy problem, but we can do it. Then Amanda's going to make 1025. That's the longer number, so I'm going to put that on top over 305. And that one's got some zeros in it, so that one's going to be a little easier. All right, 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 2 is 37. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 3 is 43. 10's place, so I put a 0. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 7 is 49, plus 3 is 52. 7 times 8 is 56, plus 5 is 61. I'm going to erase all this mess I made up here so I can start fresh. I'm in the hundreds place now, so I've got to annex 2 zeros. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 1 is 22. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 2 is 26. Got to add all that up. And I'm sorry it's a little messy. I'll just add it up right over here. It's supposed to be a 0. 5 plus 0 plus 0 is 5. 7 plus 5 is 12. 7, 10, 11. I've got 1 and 4 is 5, 6, 8. I've got 12 and 3. How much money is that? I need to count my decimal places. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's $328. And it's 13 cents. I know it kind of looks like 12 cents, but it's 13 cents because this 5 right here I have to take off because my digit, it's too long for a money problem, but 5 rounds up. So it's not 12 cents, it's 13 cents. So that was the first one. Kaylin makes $328, 13 cents. How much does Amanda make? Believe it or not, even though this is tons of digits, it's going to be really easy. Watch this. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, 12. 5 times 0 is 5, plus 1 is... 5 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 5 times 1 is 5. I don't need to even bother with this 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 times everything is 0. This digit right here I need to put, I'm in the hundreds place, so I need to put 2 decimals. And then 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 3 times 0 is 0, and 3 times 1 is 3. Just like last time, I don't really have enough room to add it all up. Maybe I do. 5, 2, 6, 12, 1, 3. And then I count over just like last time, 1, 2, 3 spots, which means it goes right here. So I do the same rounding as I did last time. I take this off, but I round it up to 63. So she makes $312, 63 cents. The directions say calculate the exact difference. That means to take the bigger number, 328.13, and subtract the smaller number, which is 312.63, and we're going to figure out exactly the difference between how much they make. So 3 minus 3 is 0. Now I've got to borrow and do 11 minus 6 is 5. And I borrowed, so that makes that 7 or 8 into a 7. 7 minus 2 is 5. 2 minus 1 is 1, and 3 minus 3 is 0. So it's $15.50. Go back to your answer. What's the exact difference in their wage or their salaries? It's $15.50. Okay, we're going to stop there, and the next video will cover the problems at the bottom of the page. Good job. You're almost done with page 123.